All right, you guys asked for a live underdog. I'm going to give you a live underdog. We just got done filming Total Bases. So if you're looking for more baseball picks, head on over to the WagerTalk YouTube channel to watch the Wednesday replay of Total Bases. And the chat, as we were signing off, wanted an underdog. And I said I would do my video today on what I thought was a live underdog on the board. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I also want to let you know that I will likely I don't know if it's going to be a 5%er yet, but it will be at least a 4% best bet in the KBO. I cashed with the Doosan Bears this morning for a 4%er. I am waiting for the lines to come out as we speak. If I get the right price, I rarely fire 5%ers in KBO, but if I get the right price, I may just do that. Coming off of a nice win. So keep an eye out for that on the site. And all the KBO plays right now are 50% off. So if it's a 4%er, it'll be 50% off of the normal 4% rate. Same thing if it ends up being a 5%er, 50% off the normal 5% rate. So keep an eye out for that on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. All right, this is the live underdog for the day that we're going to talk about here. We talked about some other underdogs. So again, go back to Total Bases if you want more of those. But this is a game we did not hit on the Total Bases show. And we're going to talk Colorado Rockies. They are on the road. They're taking on the Reds. And I think they have a great chance to win today. So let's get into why. It's Tomoyoki Sugano for the Rockies, Brandon Williamson for the Reds. Listen, I think people look at Sugano and sort of what happened to him in the second half of last year. So if you go back to last year, he was on the Orioles. He got off to a really good start. Now, this is a guy that's been around for a very long time, veteran guy, tons of, pitched many, many years in Japan. Comes into Major League Baseball, has more success than I think people anticipated. And then down the stretch kind of gets knocked around. The full season numbers weren't terrible, 4.64 ERA, 1.33 whip. But the Orioles didn't retain him, and he ends up in Colorado. Listen, I get it. Like, you could probably look at his start to this year and say the same thing is going to happen. Right now, Sugano has a 3.42 ERA and a 1.14 whip. I think it's safe to say he's probably not going to pitch to those numbers all season. But when I look at this game, I say, well, Brandon Williamson, I don't even know if he should be a big league starter at this point. I'm surprised that I guess Cincinnati doesn't really have anyone better at Louisville right now to sort of call up and make that, that fifth starter option. But I mean, this guy's got an expected ERA of 6.97. It's one of the worst marks of any pitcher in Major League Baseball. So when I just look at the starters, it's like, yeah, maybe Sugano is due for a little bit of regression. But when you watch him pitch, he goes out, he throws strikes. It's a lot of off-speed stuff. He really has done a good job of forcing other teams to hit the ball to beat him, to square up his off-speed stuff. And if it happens, he will get beat. Like, that's just the reality of it. If that happens, he's going to get beat. But the Reds have they're bottom 5 in WRC plus as an offense. Their offensive strength has not just been like pounding mediocre pitching into oblivion. The Reds have won games by pitching, defense, timely hitting. So it's like when I look at Sugano, I don't necessarily think this is the worst matchup for him. I don't think this is necessarily where the regression is going to start. Now, when I look at Brandon Williamson, could I see him getting pounded again? Yeah, I mean, he's pretty. He has not thrown the ball well all year, in my opinion. The one start he was like okay was the Marlins, and he's got I guess the Marlins and the Twins. He didn't give up runs, but he got away with 4 walks against the Twins, 4 walks against the Marlins. Just sort of wiggled out of jams. That's not going to last. That's why the expected ERA is so high. Is because he's put guys on and he sort of like continues to get out of tough spots. Yet he doesn't really strike guys out. So think about that for a second. You got a guy that's putting guys on base, is giving up hard hit, that has only had four strikeouts as his high this year. So it is 5 starts, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3 for strikeouts. He's going to get punished at some point. And it very well could be here. The Rockies, I don't think they're an offensive juggernaut this year by any means, but they're better than they were last year. They're not in last. They're a better offense than I would say the Reds are at this point. At least they're equal. At least they're comparable. And both teams have a really good bullpen. So when I look at this matchup, I think the weakest part of this matchup, in my opinion, is Williamson. And you're getting the Reds in the plus 130, plus 135 range. Bullpens are pretty equal. The lineups are fairly equal. And I just trust Sugano more than I trust Williamson to put his team in a position to win. That's one area that I think the Rockies are not getting enough credit. They've got 3 or 4 guys that come out of that bullpen throwing extremely hard, 100 miles an hour. They have turned around so quickly a team that was dead last in bullpen ERA, and they've been in the top 10 in Major League Baseball pretty much all season. So, again, this feels like a very even game where the Rockies may actually have a little bit of an edge at starting pitcher, yet you can get them plus 135 most places in this game. And who knows, that might even go up if the Reds take money throughout the day. So I think the live dog here, at least one of them on Wednesday's slate, is the Rockies on the money line. For a whole bunch of other Major League Baseball picks and opinions, check out Total Bases. The replay is up on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. We hit 6 or 7 different games on that show. And then check out my page. I will have an MLB play, and I also likely will have a very big KBO play Thursday morning. Still waiting to make sure I get the number to do it. Those will all be on my page at WagerTalk. You can see it scrolling on the bottom of your screen. And we'll be back here tomorrow to talk more MLB with you guys. Total Bases 9 a.m. Keep an eye out for the videos. We'll see you guys tomorrow.